Good afternoon, everyone. Let's go ahead and start with the data. All right, so today we now have 17,303 cases reported in Ohio, an increase of 534 cases over the last 24 hours reported. We do have hospitalizations that have trended slightly up in the last 24 hours. It's something we'll continue to watch. Our deaths right now in Ohio are at 937 people that we have lost in Ohio. Next slide. And our data remains pretty consistent. We have tested 128,000 people in the state of Ohio. Next slide, Eric. Thank you. And we can see our trends. Right now, our cases going slightly up, but again, mostly plateaued. Our deaths have increased significantly. A lot of that, what we're seeing, remember, deaths aren't reported deaths that occurred in the last 24 hours. It's deaths that we've gotten data on. And our death numbers will increase actually over months. This date today, in April 29th, the people who actually died today, we'll be learning about them in many weeks and even months to come. And so that's why death data can be a little bit tricky to interpret. Hospitalizations, we did go up. I did talk to some of our big centers in Ohio. They have seen a slight uptick of hospitalizations, not ICU admissions, however, and you can see ICU admissions today a little lower. And remember, once again, that getting the disease starts within the next 2 weeks. You might need to go to the hospital. Within the next week or so, you might get admitted or need to be in the ICU. And again, deaths following. So this data, always needs good interpretation. I would say, Governor, what we're still seeing, just a very even thing over time. Next, I think that would be it for today. I want to talk a little bit about the masks as well. I want to acknowledge just everything that everyone has said and the beautiful artwork we saw as well. There are people for health reasons that cannot wear a mask. There are folks with disabilities, folks with sensitivity issues, and we definitely, it's not typically recommended under the age of 2. And with everything we have done in this, we have really appealed to you, because in the layering of all these defenses we can have collectively, we're always aiming at most of us doing the right thing. We are never going to be able to get everyone to do the exact right thing. But I want us to think about this for a moment, in that when we all do this collectively, we are protecting each other. I've been looking at data of deaths actually in countries that did or didn't institute sort of the measures we've taken over the last month and a half to 2. And even looking around the country, what Ohioans did together drastically decreased our illness, and it drastically decreased our deaths compared to many places around the world. And we didn't do that just by ordering it. We did it by all of us doing it together. We have to think about the fact that when I see you wearing this, I know you're really not doing this for you. You're doing it for me. You might be doing it for my child who's immunocompromised. You might be doing it for my parent. And every time I see someone doing this, that's what I see. I see that sort of nod, that high five to each other about what we are doing collectively. And it will take all of us doing this together. I see a culture change happening. I see people taking sort of what are some hard and difficult things and joining together in a solidarity. This is a team sport, Ohio. This is all of us collectively. Our outcomes going forward, our ability to get around and move around and do more. The more we do this, the sooner we get out of it, and the more people that will live with us to be at that next Thanksgiving table, that next graduation. And to those of you who are graduating this year, the class of 2020, I'm already seeing the advice we'll be putting out with the Department of Education is some of the most creative things I'll ever see. The virtual graduations, the drive-through celebrations, the wedding I just saw pictures of in the newspaper, where people went out in the middle of the street and the neighbors were banging out from every house, drawing hearts on the sidewalks, joining in together, is a wedding that will be a forever memory for that couple. And it is not like any wedding. It's not the one they planned, but it's the one that they'll really remember at this point in time. What did we remember that we did during this time to help each other? And 2020, when you have that 5-year reunion and you're all together, you will be that class that actually lived through this together and have that memory. So it's a new memory and it's a special memory. So Ohio, let's do this together. Thank you, Governor.